In this tutorial, you're going to learn how to use quantization to tidy up rhythmic performances. Have a listen to this rhythm pattern. I think it's fair to say that there's quite a few errors here. A number of notes are played out of time, some early and some are late. We can use a function in Cubase called Quantise to actually move each individual note to its nearest 16th, 32nd or even quarter note. This allows us to tidy up and tighten up the rhythmic accuracy of live performances played by a musician in real time. Let's start with the kick drum. Use the solo function to listen to it on its own and open it in the drum editor. Let's have a listen. We can see by looking at the notes on the screen that some of them are actually out of position and that their positions are not exactly on the beat. Some of them are played early, some of them are played late. Using a 1/8 setting in the Quantise window, which equates to a quaver resolution, we can now use the over quantize function to tighten up the performance. This can be found in the over quantize command in the MIDI menu, also the shortcut of Q on the computer keyboard. Let's select all the notes and now use the over quantize. You can now see that the notes have moved and they're exactly on lines within the drum editor. This means that all the beats within the drum editor have been quantized to 1/8 notes or to the nearest quaver. Let's have a listen. Excellent. Now let's move to the snare drum part. Let's open it in the drum editor. Let's now select all the notes by lassoing them and use the over quantize function to 1/8 again. And now we can see that the notes have been moved to the nearest 1/8 grid line. Let's have a listen. Excellent. Now let's look at the hi-hat part. You can hear how the repeated 1/8 hi-hat patterns are really quite messy and out of time. Let's select them all. We'll set the quantize value to 1/8 again and use over quantize. And now we can see that all the notes have moved onto the lines within the drum editor. Let's now have a listen to all 3 of these parts that have been quantized, played back together. That's great. We've only now got to listen to the fill-in part and see how that sounds. Let's open it in the drum editor. See that the notes aren't on the lines. Let's select them all. Let's choose a quantize value of 1/8 and choose over quantize from the MIDI menu. And now we can see they've moved on the lines within the drum editor. Let's have a listen back. Let's now put the whole drum track back together and listen to all 4 parts. Great. We now have a perfect drum track that's been quantized to 1/8 notes or quarter note resolution. Quantise is a really useful tool that can help you tighten up the rhythmic feel of your music.